Today you are going to learn how the science of happiness can support you to live your mentally healthy lifestyle. Thanks to the work of Dr. Sonja Lyubomirsky, a professor at University of California, Riverside, in her fantastic book, The How of Happiness, a science-based approach to living a happier life, she delivers 12 groundbreaking activities that can support you in living a happy life for the rest of your life. And these also are accompanied with the 5 hows to sustain that happiness. So in today's video, we're going to cover the 12 activities and the 5 hows to sustain that happiness. And as always, we're going to end our video with the challenge statement so that you can operationalize and live what you have just learned. The 12 happiness activities: expressing gratitude, cultivating optimism, avoiding overthinking and social comparison, practicing acts of kindness, nurturing social relationships, developing strategies for coping, learning to forgive, increasing flow experiences, savoring life's joys, committing to your goals, practicing religion or spirituality, taking care of your body through meditation, physical activity, and acting like a happy person. So now that we've discussed the 12 happiness activities, I want to take some time and just explore a few of them and again look at how they support living a mentally healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to start at the first one because I enjoy that. And expressing gratitude is one of the most important things you can do just to feel good, help other people feel good, and it's pretty easy. Now, in the example of living a mentally healthy lifestyle, maybe your therapist, maybe you want to say thank you and express the gratitude because now you've learned new skills to carry on at work or within your family. And these again are ways that are supporting your mentally healthy lifestyle. And then by actively expressing gratitude to increase your happiness, again, is one of our happiness activities. Another happiness activity, number 4, let's look at that one, practicing acts of kindness. In today's world, one of my favorite stickers I've seen is when in a world where you can choose to be anything, choose to be kind. And I think we can all agree that having an act of kindness done to us really brightens up our day. So imagine what you can do for others when you practice acts of kindness. So for example, living my mentally healthy lifestyle, my family is a big part of my social support system. And again, social support is crucial for everyone's mental health. But for me, when I can come over and practice acts of kindness, let's say at my mom's house, maybe I clean some weeds or wash a window or do something for her, that's an act of kindness. Again, that's going to be contributing to my social support system, my mentally healthy lifestyle, and it happens to be one of the activities that I can practice to increase my happiness. So that's an example of how I might use that one. Now let's look at another one here, committing to your goals. That's our 10th happiness activity. For example, one of the goals that I have right now are to stay on top of all my work, right? I work at National University. I teach psychology to my undergraduates, and part of my goal is to stay on top of all their grading so that they can get their grades back on time and we can continue to proceed throughout the course. While that may be my job, making it a focus to commit to that goal and serve my students is another way that I can engage some of these happiness activities that Dr. Lyubomirsky has provided. So when it comes to living a mentally healthy lifestyle, as we've said before, a mentally healthy lifestyle is an active, engaged, and overall positive way of living to support your mental health. So when you consider these 12 happiness activities, which we'll get to shortly because it's not important that you do all of them all at once and not every single one's going to fit for everyone. So these 12 happiness activities now belong to you. You can go back, rewatch the film, get the book as we've included in the link in our description, and you can continue to cultivate happiness in your life by using these 12 accessible happiness activities. So how do we sustain happiness? How do we make sure that our happiness activities are going to last with us, last long, and continue to keep us happy? So for that, we have the 5 hows to sustain your happiness. How number 1 is with positive emotions. How number 2, optimal timing and variety. Number 3, social support. Number 4, motivation, effort, and commitment. And finally, number 5, habit. So again, these 5 ways, when we combine them with our ongoing happiness activities, we can actually sustain happiness in our life. So for example, when I consider the 5 hows, I might consider that 5th how especially important, which is habit. Because after all, doing something once, twice, even 6 times does not make it a habit and may not be enough to sustain that level of happiness. So when I give emphasis to sustaining my happiness, I might say, hey, let me set a habit now of expressing 3 of the 12 happiness activities every week. And if I do that long enough, I'm eventually setting and developing the habit to continue to practice my happiness activities. Another one of those 5 ways, positive emotions. We need to have positive emotions to feel happy, to experience happiness, and to share it. So making sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive emotions, watching maybe shows, reading books, listening to music, things that help encourage positive emotions and keep you involved in that. Because if you're continuing your positive emotions, you're setting the habit for how you can be happy, and you're implementing these happiness activities. According to the science and according to the research, you are going to not only increase your happiness, but also sustain that happiness. Now that we've discussed the 12 happiness activities and the 5 hows to sustain that happiness, I want to look at a few areas that Dr. Lyubomirsky has brought our attention to so that they will actually work and work for us. So one of the things that is absolutely important for your happiness and for these activities to work is fit. It's got to fit with your personality, your goals, your lifestyle, your interests, your likes. Because if you engage in one of the happiness activities that you don't like, it's not going to make you happy. And I'm pretty sure that's probably obvious, but I want to make it clear that that's a crucial part to making this happiness in your life for your mentally healthy lifestyle work. So it's got to fit. Now, the other areas have to deal with hedonic adaptation, okay? And what hedonic adaptation is, it's the adapting to things that are pleasurable, things that we find enjoyable. And because of this adaptation, which is natural and adaptive, when we go from experience to experience, the shine, if you will kind of lessen. And so what she talks about how to adapt, if you will, to that adaptiveness is to make sure that variety and optimal timing are a part of your happiness activities plan. So for example, maybe you do sit well with the expressing gratitude. Maybe you try that for a week or 2. Maybe it brings you that happiness. Well, then maybe it's time to try a different one so you don't get used to just, okay, I'm going to go express gratitude here, I'm going to express gratitude there, I'm going to express gratitude here. Maybe you mix it up and you go to savoring life's joys. And that can be done in the present. It can be done as a reflective experience. But again, it's the intentional act of engaging that happiness activity. So we want to make sure it fits our personality, it fits our goals, it fits our lifestyle, and we want to be aware that with everything, we're going to have hedonic adaptation to these happiness activities, and so we have to have an optimal variety and timing for these. So make sure you're aware that it's important to kind of mix it up a little bit, shake it up if you will, change it up, but that's part of what's going to help sustain that happiness. So lastly, now that you know the 12 happiness activities, the 5 hows to sustain that happiness, a few of the things that you're going to need to watch out for, which is make sure it fits your personality, fits your lifestyles, it fits your goals. Be aware of hedonic adaptation so that you're making sure to change and vary up your happiness activities. Knowing all of this, you now have in your hands the how of happiness. And you can rewatch this, you can learn it over and over again. I do recommend you get her book and find other information that she shared with us on YouTube. But what we have today are the 12 happiness activities and the 5 hows to sustain that happiness. The challenge statement is phrased, how might I? So how might I increase my happiness by practicing acts of gratitude? How might I increase my happiness by nurturing social relationships? How might I engage my commitment to goals to increase my happiness? And again, the whole thing is to operationalize so that you can live what you just learned. But we do this by using our challenge statement, which focuses us in the direction of action, because that's what it's all about, is taking action with what you've just learned. So again, your challenge statement is, how might you increase your happiness with at least 3 of these happiness activities? Pick the ones that fit you, maybe try some for later, and maybe some just won't work for you. But now you know the how to happiness, now you know the 12 happiness activities and the 5 hows to sustain that happiness. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share a comment in our section below.